There are werewolves everywhere. You better get some silver. Thanks for joining me at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp. Today I'm looking at Silver. It's a press your luck card game for 2 to 4 players that takes about an hour to play. It has hidden information and a bit of a memory element. It's similar to the card games Golf and Cabo, but each card has a special power. It's designed by Ted Alspach and published by Bezier Games. They provided these copies for the video and sponsored the video. Silver is actually a series of standalone games that can be mixed and matched for different combinations of cards. Silver Amulet, Bullet, Coin, and Dagger have been available for a while. Silver Eye and Fang are brand new. In this video, I'm not going to give detailed instructions on how to play the game. There are lots of other videos for that information. My goal is to give a quick overview of each box in the series with extra attention to the 2 new boxes. If you're not familiar with Silver, here's a super quick description. You start with 5 face-down cards in your village. You want to have the lowest value of cards at the end of the round. So you're going to try to view your cards, flip them face up to activate powers, and swap the higher values for lower values. On most turns, you're going to draw a card from the deck or the discard pile in order to use its power or to exchange it with a card or cards in your village. The card powers are the really interesting part of this game and what makes each box unique. Well, there's also a silver token in each box with a special ability. So let me give you a rundown of the main features of each box, from A to F. So first up is Silver Amulet. This was the first box in the series, and basically I would say maybe the starter set. So it has a good variety of cards, and some of those cards have similar powers, some that will affect you, and then some that will affect other players. So it's kind of a slightly different power on the Seer and the Apprentice Seer, on the Exposer and the Revealer. So there's not as many rules to keep into your mind. Obviously, there are some attack cards in this game. In box A, you have the Witch and the Robber, which are going to affect other players, but you also have some protection with the Bodyguard, and then options to get more cards during the game, to see more or draw more with the Squire and the Rascal. So the Amulet box is a good starter box with a variety of cards, and the special token is the Amulet of Protection. Now this amulet you can place on a card in your village, and it protects it from everyone, even including yourself. No one can view that card or discard that card, including you. But if the card is face up and has a power, you can still use that power. So the amulet is very helpful for protecting your cards. Next up is Silver Bullet. And from the title, you can probably expect that maybe it's a little bit more aggressive. Now, the token for this game is a bullet, and when you have it, you can put it on a card, and it is going to basically completely cancel that card, sort of like destroying it. It's not going to score, it's not going to have any effects that are available for that card, and it doesn't count towards your total of cards in your village. And no one can interact with it if it has that silver bullet on it. As far as card powers go, some of the themes in this one are deck manipulation. You have Goth Girl, who can be discarded to the bottom of the discard pile. You have the Cow that can flip the deck face up or face down, giving you a little bit of knowledge of what is coming. And then you have the Count, and he's going to take 10 cards from the deck and place them into the discard pile. The deck running out is one of the endgame triggers, so he could speed the game along. You also get some extra activations with this, the cards in this one. The Mortician allows you to activate a discard power when you discard it from your village. There's also the Marksman, who lets you use a discard power for one of the face-up cards in any village. So it's giving you more ways to activate things. That is Silver Bullet. Silver Coin is the third game in this series, and it features a coin for the token, the Coin of Flipping. Now you can flip the coin face down to turn over any one card in any village. Flipping cards is basically the theme of this box. There are so many cards that are going to give you the ability to flip yours and other players' cards, such as the Con Artist. You can flip it down to take an extra turn. The Pixie, you flip down to flip any other card in any village, up or down. So maybe you flip your Con Artist, use your Pixie to flip it back up, and later you can take another turn again. There's the Apprentice Tanner that can gain a card, then flip any one card in any village. The Huntress, you flip one card down and then flip a different card face up in any village. So you're manipulating the cards in the villages by flipping them up and down, trying to give yourself an advantage. Next is Silver Dagger. Dagger is all about the direction of play. Your special token in this game is a Silver Dagger, the Dagger of Direction. And you can turn the dagger and flip it over to reverse the direction of play from clockwise to counterclockwise or counterclockwise to clockwise. Now there's also another card in the deck that can also do this. The Reverser also changes the order of play around the table. The Zombie, now this is a card that's going to affect the player that played before you. You're going to flip it face down and put it in that player's village, and the zombie can never be face up on the discard pile, so it's very hard to get rid of unless you use some clever play. Another theme of this box is modified scoring. So you have the Debt Collector, which is going to give you a negative point for each card in the other villages. And remember, you want to have the lowest score in your village. There's also the Halfling, which lets you divide your score by 2. And then the Furry. This is definitely a kind of shoot the moon type of card. If your score is exactly 50, that's a very high score, you get 0 and all the other players get 50. So some interesting ways to modify the order of play and the scoring opportunities in Dagger. Now we're getting to the new boxes. Silver Eye is the first new one that's coming out, and it deals with the discard pile and being able to see things. The token is the Silver Eye of Finding, and this allows you to search through the deck for a card of your choice. This is instead of doing your normal turn, so it gives you a lot of power to choose exactly what you want. The cards in this box, a lot of them deal with being able to discard things and interact with the discard pile. You have Simon, which allows you to discard a card matching the topmost card on the discard pile. This you can do on any player's turn. So you're always kind of seeing what is on that discard pile to see if you can discard something from your village. The Spotter lets you look at the face down cards in any village, and if a card matches what you're discarding, then you also discard it. The Gambler lets you predict the value of the next card on the deck. If you predict it correctly, you can discard any card. But if you are incorrect, you have to take a card into your village without looking at it. The Ghost lets you discard one card from any village. Now the Obsessor, this is interesting. When the Obsessor is on the discard pile, it restricts what can be discarded on top of it, and there are 4 of these, all with different qualifications. So it really restricts what you can do at that point. Now, interacting with the discard pile is Dracula, which is moving the top 5 cards from the discard pile to the bottom. You can use this to get rid of a Obsessor, maybe, or to set yourself up to discard something with Simon. The Underminer lets you exchange 2 cards from any village with 2 cards from the discard pile. and those exchange cards will go to the bottom. So there's a lot of interacting with the discard pile and kind of seeing things and predicting things with Silver Eye. So now we've come to the final game in this series, Silver Fang, and this also is a brand new box. This box adds a new element to the game, team play. Now, technically, you can use team play rules with any of the boxes, but it especially works well with the cards in this box. For team play, you're going to have, obviously, 2 players on each team. And when you're trading matched cards, you can actually use the cards from your teammate to be able to turn in multiple cards. You have to at least turn in one of your cards, but you can also use theirs to get the cards down in your village. Now, to call, you still need to have the lowest individual value in your village, so you're not combining with your teammate for the call. But at the end of the game, the 2 scores from each teammates will be combined together for the ultimate score. This is going to allow a lot of different strategies in the game. Now, teammates cannot talk to each other about the specific values of their cards. They can't tell them what face down cards are, but you can kind of see what's going on, especially if they flip over some cards or you flip over cards to see what they have. So the cards in this box especially are going to help with that team play. And those cards are the Divulger. You can turn 1 card face up in any village. The Accomplice, using a face up ability in any village. Forwarder, place your discarded cards face up in another village. Probably want to do that to an enemy unless they're going to match your teammates' cards. Sheriff, turn over 1 card in each village. The Splayer, view all face down cards in any village and then organize those cards from left to right from lowest to highest. That one sounds really interesting to me. Aura Seer, view face down cards 1 at a time in 1 village until you choose to turn 1 card face up. Now, Diseased, this is going to skip the next player's turn, so when you're playing teams, basically it goes from your turn to your teammate's turn. Switcheroo, exchange any number of your cards with the same number of cards from another village. And then Tallyman. This one, you can choose to have all the face-up cards immediately scored, including any scoring abilities on those cards. And so now you have a mid-round scoring that is going to add to the final scores of each player. So that's an interesting twist to the game to have that mid-scoring. So I would say that this box especially is interacting with other villages and other players, seeing what they have, switching things, which I think will work especially well with team play. The special token for Fang is a Silver Fang. It's a Silver Fang of discarding, and it gives the player with the Silver Fang a separate additional discard pile that only that player can choose from. Now, anyone can discard to that pile, but the player with the Fang is the only one who can draw cards from that pile. So with team play, maybe you're putting some cards in there that your teammate who has the Fang could use. So the team play especially is going to open up some new strategies and ways to manipulate the decks, especially with the Fang cards. So that was a quick look at the 6 boxes in the Silver series. Thanks for watching. Do you have a favorite box from the series or favorite cards to use as you mix them with other decks? Let me know in the comments, and thanks again for watching.